All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning and the last Saturday in the month of May. And guys, I decided not to change my background today and have a virtual background. I decided to let it. I think because sometimes we need to understand that what we work for here is that if you've got a great business, and I've had businesses that required me so much time, I never had a chance to do anything else. I mean, I was literally on call 24/7, 7 days a week. And what I love about this industry, when I started here 23 years ago, I never thought that this was going to be my long-term career. But what's literally, and you can see, I'm sitting on the marina in my on my boat. And I told Peyton when he got on this morning, I said, I look a little rough because I've been on the river all day and I have a little sunburn, so things are not as smooth as they should be. But guess what? That's just what we strive for, is to have freedom and things that you can do on your own. So with that, I want you to understand that I'm so excited about this morning because it's a young generation. I didn't even know what this industry was growing up. And when I say growing up, I'm talking about in my teen years, my early 20s. I still consider that growing up. I hope that's not offending anybody, this young group here. But you're learning and you're trying to get yourself. I still think I'm learning. And I'm almost 70. So the thing about it is that most people don't realize a side hustle, that may be all you're looking for, a way to supplement an income or be able to. I know Chelsea's probably not going to be able to join us this morning. She's on the road to take her kids to Florida. And I know this side hustle has been able to make that happen. So there's things that you just never realize that are available to you. And I think that most people don't understand when they think about our industry is they think about something the way it was 40 years ago. And guys, things are just different. I mean, I think we all agree that the internet's changed the world, the way we do business, influencers, the way, and in my opinion, the next generation. I love their name, the next gen. I when heard they were going to do this, it was exciting to me because I don't I feel like this industry is so amazing, yet it has a bad reputation for all the wrong reasons. And there's so much has changed in it that it is so exciting to me to see these young people getting on here. You know, I see young people changing their lives and getting out of their this idea that there's a 9 to 5 grind. So with that, I want you to understand that, guys, all this is a place for young people to understand they can do a side hustle and pick up extra income, maybe to pay off some bills, student loans. I'll tell you something. Todd Rowland joined this business to pay off student loans and to have a little bit of money where they can work, do something on the weekends. And it turned into something different. Doesn't mean that you'll ever go full time. It means you can. It means it's available to you. And that's what we all want to understand is that sometimes we kind of judge ourselves based on how someone else is doing, when in actuality, we just need to look at what we're doing and are we changing our own lives. And because I didn't join this business for somebody else, I joined this business for myself and my family because I was looking for an income stream after losing my business. So, with that, I'm excited. And I bet Peyton's even got more nervous now because Dad's on, coach is going to be listening in too. So, but Peyton Palmer, this guy's high school All American kind of athlete, went to play college football, decided that wasn't exactly what he wanted. I'm not sure if my nephew also went to play college football. He's like, the beating you take in college is not like as fun as it was in high school. He said, it's not my teammates. It's a little different. But Peyton decided to kind of leave that and decided that he wanted. I don't think his dad ever anticipated he was going to go into this industry. I think that was something he had. And I also always agree with that. You have to decide that. For my daughter, Kristen, who's not on the call, I wanted her to do this for years and years because I knew how good it was, but she didn't listen to Dad. She followed her heart, which is great. But now she sees how important it is to have something else in your life. Something else is another option. Now, Kristen's changed from somebody who wanted to make extra income just to carry a kid to Disney World to someone who wants to see this and now is making a full-time income from here. She had one of her best weeks she's had since she's been in the company. But it takes time to build a business, and that's what most people don't know now. So with that, Peyton, you've got some girls on here, and you guys have started this. I'm going to call it a revolution. I don't know what else to call it, a revolution for the young people. And so I'm going to let you introduce the ladies. And by the way, I want to make this something that I think it's important. We always talk about the blurred lines of sponsorship. When Peyton reached out, and I know this comes from learning from his dad, these girls ain't all. Some of these girls are on his team, but not all of these girls are on his team. And his NexGen group is not all his team. It's a group of young people all working together for a common goal. So with that, Peyton, I'm going to turn it to you to let you kind of start, and I'll chime in when we get ready. And I hope his dad will chime in some, not to make him more nervous here, but I hope his dad will chime in.
Hey, he might be able to learn a thing or two.
I
Also,
love it.
no, I'm just kidding. Well, Chris, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited, and I'll give you a little bit of a background how NexGen started. Can you hear me okay first?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Great.
perfect.
Loud and clear.
So in Destin, Florida, this February, I got the opportunity to go down and got to spend time with Dad, but obviously intermingle with everyone else. And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's not many people our age here, which is totally fine. But I looked at it and I'm so passionate about what Partner Co is and what we have to offer. And I'm like, there's so many young people that need what we have, but they don't know about it. And also on the flip side, by going and filling that need, it will also bless us uh, in a lot of different ways. And so I took that in Destin and I was like, okay, we need to have something to where we can go run and reach these young people. Well, the first thing you need to do is go assemble a team. And so I wanted to find young people, around that 18 to 35 range that has had success that we can go run and reach these other young people, but then also have a community for the young people that is in the company because we may not know, but there's a lot more out there that's in Partner Co than what I thought. And so just to be able to have that like-minded community to say, first off, hey, no, there is other 24-year-olds doing this or whatever, to be able to come and collaborate and share ideas is huge. But then also to be able to team up and go reach the world is even bigger. So I love my team. They do so much behind the scenes. But I'm going to ask a couple of different questions to them, and it's kind of putting them on the spot because they don't know these questions. But um, Sarah, Valley, Thalia, I know Shelby Davis has done a lot, but I don't know that she's been able to be on today. And then obviously Chelsea is getting to take her family to the beach, so that's amazing. But I guess we can all three of y'all can unmute and I'll just ask individually. But so a couple of different things that I think about with NexGen is like, number one, why should young people want to do this? Number two, like, what are we trying to do? Um, and it kind of, to me, it all comes with creating lifestyles. So Sarah, I want to ask you if you could tell a young person like a couple things of why they should do this, what would you say?
Why you should do this. You have been told all of your entire life, you have to go to college, you have to get a degree. But in reality, you don't have to. You can make a residual income, go live your life, and go live out your dreams with this company, as I'm doing, as all of us here at NexGen are doing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, to me, one thing that's always interested me is like, you hear you've got to go to, I mean, obviously high school, got to go to high school, go to college, pay your student loans, get a degree, work till you're 75, retire on broke. And that's just not the way I've ever wanted to do it. And so turning it to you, Talia, what what has this done for you? Uh, because some people it may want a part-time income. I mean, anybody can use some side money, but somebody may want to go full time. What has that done for you?
For me, it's absolutely changed my life because I've been taught to work my entire life a 9 to 5. And my dad is very much so like for that in his generation. And he grew up, not wealthy. So he's like, if you don't work, you have nothing. So I've been taught to do that. But this has let me have an income while I stay home with my children. Um, as somebody that works, I'm a nurse. I used to work 12 to 15 hours a day in the GI surgery center. The hospital's on call on the weekends. I've done it for years. Now, not having to clock in, but yesterday I bought my husband a new grill for his birthday and Father's Day. That was not with his money that he worked for. That was money that I got from this company. As a mom, as a stay-at-home mom, I hope this like not just moms, but I know I rejuvenate with those people, but not just moms, with all young people. Groceries are expensive. So I can spend $600 a week on groceries and I can pay for those with Partner Co money. Um, it has been such a game changer for me and my whole mindset for our family to be able to add that extra income in. I won't harp on it, but that's exactly what this has done for me. It's changed my life, and I get time freedom with my babies.
I want to add
That's
something.
awesome.
Can I add something in there? Khalil,
Absolutely.
how long did you go to think about this? We're talking about, and by the way, we're not anti-education. We don't want everybody to ever think we don't want education. Why don't you tell us how long it took before you became, and think about that. So this guy worked in a surgery center at the GI Center. Tell people how many years you went to school before you could get the degree to do that.
3 years.
So it's a 3-year nursing degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many years how many years did you work at the nursing center?
7.5.
And how many hours a day does that entail?
12 to 15 hours a day, and I drove an hour to work, and on the weekends I would be at the hospital clocking in the parking garage at 4:45.
That's all I wanted to point out. And by the way, I love nurses, so I don't want to ever, because when I'm in the hospital, they're the most wonderful people. So I'm not trying to get rid of nurses. Let's not get that clear here. But Talia had 2 children now, so it made her have choices. And that's what we're trying to make people understand. This is about choices. Doesn't mean
Absolutely.
we certainly love. I mean, someone said I try to get somebody to quit becoming a plumber. And I'm no, I need my plumber, but I also need I call it plumbing with you guys, the plumbing department, because I mean, that's what you did. I call it plumbing. So you GI nurse, if y'all hadn't caught that. I don't mean that bad.
Well,
What kind
we did a lot of
areas
it.
Yeah, I mean, that was not the most. If there was one part of the medical field I probably wouldn't choose, that'd be the GI field. Sorry, no offense. But anyway, I don't want to point out she worked multiple years paying out before she could get to the job. Okay, wanted to make sure we clear on that. Peyton, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and as far as, to me, it's all about, and kind of what we stand for at NexGen is just, and PartnerCo as a whole, but it's just creating the life you want to live, like whatever that may be, whether it's staying at home, whether it's being able to travel the world. Everybody has like this different dream life, but whatever that is, you can go make that happen here. And so turning it to Valley, I see her all the time, like it's in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, and her kids are on the beach, like, and she's still working. Like, that doesn't, I don't know of any other jobs you can do that at. So Valley, can you just talk a little bit about how, maybe what this has done for you, but also how it's allowed you to have the time freedom to be able to do those things?
Yes, of course. Anybody that knows me knows I am like obsessed with the beach. That is my happy place. So it is just awesome to me that, like Peyton said, on a random Tuesday in the middle of the day, I'll load my kids up and we'll go to the beach, and I'll do a Zoom call on the beach, or I'll be doing follow-up texts. But with Partner Co, it has just literally changed our life. My husband and I, we have 4 other businesses. Yes, we love our businesses, but we have to physically be there working. We are having to do labor to have money generating through that business. It's not residual income. So over the last several years since we've been married, and all these businesses that we have, when I got introduced to Partner Co and I started seeing true residual income come in, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting paid every Friday, pretty much whether I work or not. And I don't have to be over there like slaving, doing labor work to have money come in. So that's what really kind of opened my eyes for me. And that's kind of like when I went full time with this, is when I started seeing that residual income come in, and it just really clicked. I was like, this is life changing. Everybody needs a residual stream of income in their life. And just for our family being, we have these other businesses, knowing Partner Co, whether I'm working or not, we get paid every single Friday because of the hard work and everything I've done over the last, little over 2 years. I'm now benefiting from that. So being able to load up the kids on a random day, and I have people ask me all the time, they're like, what are you doing here? Like, what, do you not work? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you. And then it just opens a door of opportunity to be able to explain to that. But kind of how we talked about, like, just our generation, everybody, you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a degree, and then you're stuck paying these student loans, and you pretty much work until you die. And I've always said, I'm just not meant to work for someone. Like, I want to live life on my terms. I want to give my family whatever they want, and corporate America does not do that. I mean, you have to go work for someone else. You're making that business succeed. You're making the boss, you're making them more money, and you're giving all your time to them. And if you really sit back and look, you're like, why? Why am I going to go spend? And I really, like Talia said, I resonate with moms. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 7 years. So I'm like, okay, why am I going to go work 40 hours a week just to pay for daycare? And it's my entire check I make on Friday, I'm going to pay that to daycare. Like, what sense does that make? So Partner Co allows the opportunity to where you can make a full-time income staying home with your children. You have more options. You can do random stuff during the week with your kids. And it has truly been life-changing for our family. Earlier this month, for example, I had surgery and I was down literally 3 weeks, very unexpected, out of nowhere, down 3 weeks. I honestly did not do really anything with my business except a little on social media. And I still got paid every single Friday. And I just remember that over the last couple weeks, I would wake up on Friday and it was just like an instant relief. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got paid even though I was down not doing anything. So all your hard work, even like everybody's going to have ups and downs in their businesses. Do not sit there and get down in the downs. You have to go through the bad times and the humps to get to the good times. So just push through, and it is just so worth it. But it has truly changed our life, being able to have that stream of residual income coming in, and just like taking my kids to the beach and sitting on the beach doing a Zoom call. Like it's truly the best feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Residual income, like, to me, that is, I don't think majority of the world probably even knows what that is if you really ask them. Like, I've got friends that are, real estate agents, or they may be some kind of sales. And I'm like, what if you sell a house, but then the next month you get paid for that house again and get paid for it again? And they're like, obviously that doesn't happen, but that's the power we have here. And then the next person is Shelby Davis, and she's crushing social media, but she kind of has a similar story to where, well, kind of in a way, but used to be a teacher. Now she's not. She gets to do what she wants to do because of Partner Co. So Shelby, can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I have been with the company for I just hit my 2-year mark this month, and I joined because I had found out that I was pregnant, and like Peyton said, I was in education teaching in elementary school, and I looked ahead and said, I do not want to do this for the next 30 plus years of my life. I had a baby on the way, and I knew that I would be stuck at school for 8 or more hours a day with no wiggle room. Like, I had no say so over that. And only getting summers off, which is a blessing, but like, I want the whole year off. I want to be able to spend those days with my children. And so that's really the drive for the reason why I wanted to be a part of something like this and a part of something bigger. I actually have watched my mom be successful in this industry as well. So I knew that it was possible and that it was real. And I can confidently say that I did not go back to the classroom after she was born. And so I'm here, and I'm not planning on leaving anytime soon, because this has really built what I consider my dream life.
That's awesome. Chris, you look like you had something to say. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was just thinking about what she said about the way it's changed, and she grew up around the industry, but yet she went to teaching, which is fine. And also, y'all, I want to add something. I talked about most people didn't know what residual income is. Guys, I was in my 40s, and when I joined this industry 23 years ago, and they talked about residual, I didn't want to look dumb, so I had to go look it up and try to figure out what they were talking about. Because Todd Rowland kept telling me, "What you understand that you're gonna keep getting paid." And to be honest with you, I was sort of like, I didn't get that. I knew what rental houses were. That's residual. Problem was, I didn't have the money to spend on those. Okay. So anyway, that's just one of the things I want to understand, is that and this is different. See, everybody's social media has changed the way things work. That's all I want you to understand. It makes such a difference in people's lives. And the way we are able to do that is different. So sorry to interrupt, Peyton. I told you I wasn't going to interrupt you. And here I am.
Oh, no.
I
actually
wanted to say, speaking of how we're talking about residual income, I just feel like so many, even like myself, I didn't even know like really what residual income is. And there's so much of the world that truly has no idea what residual income is. So like when I came into this industry and I started hearing, you know, all the top dogs talking about residual income and all this and that. And I'm like, what are these people talking about? But when you get into this community and you start seeing, like, that is one of my favorite parts. You're literally seeing somebody's health completely transform and then their life transform financially. And it just gives me chills because I'm like, everybody needs this. But just, I feel like the world is just designed. You have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to take out loans. Like, everything is just, you have to do this. And so for a lot of people, it's, you're having to almost like rewire their brain. You're like, no, there is a different way to live. Like, you don't have to live like that.
So true.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true. So one thing I want to talk about that I'm so excited is just how fast our young population's growing. So when we first started, and I'll kind of lead into like what we do, because a lot of people ask me, they're like, how do I get younger people? But so we started with 3 people in like March, I believe. I don't know, February, March. And then we start with 5. Now we've got 97 people in the group. We're close to 100 and we're growing rapidly. So I'm super excited for that. But for the, like, people ask, what do we do? It's the same thing that everyone else does, to be honest with you. Like, we run the system. Now, we have created the same system, just more relatable testimonies, but the system's still the same. But the biggest thing that I think that we try to do a good job of is just treat people like humans and go have conversations. To me, that's the biggest thing. No matter if you're 18 or 100, just having those simple conversations with new people on a daily basis will absolutely scale your business. And we did a Zoom on this in the NexGen community the other night, and we talked about, like, you know, if I'm coming up to you and we're just having, if I say, Chris, I don't know you, and we're sitting at the restaurant, whatever, and we're just talking, but I make it all about you, and we're just, hey, how's it going? I'm Peyton, nice to meet you. And then you know, so what do you do? And internally, we're making it all about you. You're gonna tell me what you do, but eventually you're gonna ask me, well, what do you do? And then we're in. And so that's kind of what we do as far as treat people like humans, have conversations, and talk to people. And that's kind of what we're trying to teach that young, because I mean, I'll be the first to admit, the younger the people are, the less they like to talk. So the more that we can teach people how to do that, the better we'll be. And my dad's popped up on the screen now, so that's kind of making me nervous. But
I thought we'd get some real training and get some real experience here. So having a talk in front of your dad makes it more difficult. I know he's in Miami. Peyton, I want to add something to what you said. The NexGen community is about young people plugging into like-minded young people. And I was so excited about this group because I am that old guy. And when people talk to me, I mean, they want to say, I know they don't say it to me, but they're like, well, he's this old guy and he's already got made money and he don't need this. They don't. And it's really so good to have someone that they can communicate with. And what Peyton and this group has created, and I know it was his idea, but he's got his founding members, as we call it. We got them on here, all but Chelsea. And the objective is supporting people of their age group. It's the people that plug in to understand. I don't think they'll make you graduate out. Somebody may almost be at that 35 mark. But Kristen was kind of disappointed because she was a little older. It's like, I can't get in this NexGen group. But the thing we want you to understand is this is just a lot. We all need support. I don't care. Britt and I, we have bad days. I can name all leaders. They all have days when they need to lean on somebody. And what the NexGen group has created is people that you can lean on that are your age group. And because Talia would never admit it, that she don't call me unless there's a little problem she really wants to talk to me about. She'd rather talk to Kristen about it or call the ones that hurt about it that she feels more comfortable. And so I just think this is such a great program. So plug your people in. They're not there to take your people. They're there to support your teams. So I want Peyton, I'm sure it's open. Anybody wants to get in, and you said 24 to 35. So anybody wants to join that group, that's okay, right?
Yeah, it's 18 to 35, and we've got it's super simple. Like, we can just shoot you a link. We've got a Facebook group, and kind of like Partner Co Nation or Level Up Life. They just answer basically they're a brand partner and they fit the age range, and anybody's welcome. And we also have a YouTube channel that we post our Zooms to. That way, for one, we can go rewatch, but anybody else that's not able to be on, or if they're not a part of the group, they can still go watch it. So yeah, it's super easy, and we're just here to love on your people. Like, to me, it doesn't matter whether it's in my team, Shelby's team, Sarah's team, whatever. The more young people that we can get, the revolution will absolutely transpire just by gaining that population.
Can I hop in real quick on something? I saw Carla had asked in the chat about, if you're outside of the age range, and y'all may have covered this. I was a little bit late coming in, but what do I do if I'm outside of that age range? How do I connect my people? And I just want to say, we created this group so that we could create community within our age group. So it's not that we're trying to exclude people. We're just trying to create this community so that we can brainstorm together, put our heads together so that we can help to reach other people in our age group. And so, kind of the reasoning for that wasn't to keep out or gatekeep information. We're sharing the things that we're creating, these new boards and things. But it's just to create that sense of community within our age group. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Hey, Shelby,
Yes.
I got to say this because that's perfect. I love this group, and I love the fact that I'm not in the group. Okay. I want to share with everybody on here this morning that if you're a part of network marketing, we're all a part of network marketing, but if you really understand our industry, leverage exists when you don't build out of scarcity, when you blur the lines of sponsorship, when you support each other. And so for me right now, if you go, Brent, what are you doing right now? I'm 49 years old. I'm not in the group, which is perfect because I have a group in the company running without me. So there's a lot of young people that I meet while I'm on the road. Guess what I can do? I can get them involved, plug them into that group. And then there's a community within the community. It's kind of like Circle of Health. Circle of Health is a customer-based group, right? It's all about customers. It's not about business building. It's all about customers, the customer community. Now we have a young person's group, 18 to 35, that's all about 18 to 35-year-olds, right? They talk a little different. They do business a little different. I want to interject a lot of times on the NexGen when Peyton is having his meetings in my office. And then he reminds me, Dad, you're 49 years old. Get out of my office. I'm kidding. He would never say that. He's too polite. But at the end of the day, he does come to me sometimes and I'm like, son, I can't tell you that because I'm not your age. So get with the team, figure out what sounds good to them. And so for me, that's where I'm about. And I got to say how proud I am. And the last thing I want to say, and I'll jump off, is the fact of what you guys are doing. I mean, I look at Talia talking about it. Do you realize to make $2,000 of residual income, a person would have to have $400,000 or $500,000 stocked up in the bank somewhere of cash, drawing that type of interest that would net them $2,000 a month. And Talia and others in part of the NexGen, Shelby, Valley, Peyton, Sarah, others, Chelsea, is creating something that they should right now be so proud. They should walk 10 foot tall and bulletproof because they're doing something that a lot of people in the world hadn't figured out yet. And that is to work part-time on their fortune for their family, for their kids, for their future grandkids. And they're doing that at a younger age. I wished I would have gotten started when I was in my 20s. I waited till I was in my 30s because I was scared. I didn't know. And so anyway, I just want to give hats off to all of you for creating this movement. And for all of us people that's outside of the age range, I always say this, 90% of our business is female driven. So if you're a male that comes in the business, let that be a clue. Get other males, but let them talk to females because we're a female ran company. We're 90% female. So if I was a male coming in going, I'm just going to get males, good luck. Like we're 90% female. So Same way here, if I'm outside of the age range, get people and that are in the age range and then turn them to this group and let them have that community and let them be leverage for your growth in your business. That's the power of network marketing. So guys, so proud of you guys. I'll hush now and mute my line.
And
I wanted to-
another oh, sorry, Chris.
No, I just said I love that Brent was. I want to add one thing that Brent and I are so excited about this because we both have children that have decided to do the business, and we call them children. My children is 40, his children is 20 in their mid-20s, but we're seeing them decide to do something that we know is special. It's not easy to do. They have to decide it on their own, and it's just so great that we've never had this opportunity to plug them into people their age group. So it's so great. So anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted. I want you to go back, Shelby, and add what you were about to say.
No, you're fine. Well, and just one more thing to what I said before, people want to get into this group so they can know how to talk to our age group. And again, like that's not the whole point of this. Like you don't need to talk like we do, kind of thing. Like, so that's just a piece of why we want to create this community, because we want to be able to sort of bridge that gap, because a 65-year-old doesn't have to know how to talk like a 30-year-old. They just have to know where to plug them into the right place and find their community.
Yeah, that's gold. That was really good. Yeah, so that's kind of who we are at NexGen. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Peyton. So why don't you tell us? You told us what NexGen is. I want each one of you to give me 1 minute on why you're so excited about what the future holds, because we all look at it differently. I mean, Brent and I are going to look at things differently than you guys look at it. And as the young people, I mean, I see people talking about our industry because it has such a negative. And by the way, that's why Brent was, he was in his 30s. I was in my 40s when I got this industry. 40s. Was negative on it. Didn't think this is what I wanted to do. I will tell you this when we talk about talking to people. When I talk to business people, I never had any issues. It was always my broke brother-in-laws or the cousin down the street that never made a dollar that gave me a hard time. The business people that are successful won't give you a hard time for seeking your dreams. So I want you to realize that, but I want you to also know that guys, young people, this is a different opportunity than 20 years ago. I didn't have an iPad, and internet was a dial-up squealing sound that you know what it did very often. I didn't ever use it. I didn't even want an email address. So the world is a changing place. And what we've got now with an opportunity to work from your phone, Brent's in Miami, so he's traveling the world. But you don't have to do that. Talia's a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids. And that's what she's excited about. Raising 2 kids right now. I do think I see a time when Talia's going to say, you know what? My kid's a little older. I can go do a little more. But while she's building her business, and most people don't look at it from the long. That's the main thing. So anyway, I want to add that in. Go ahead, Peyton. I'm sorry. I told you I wasn't interrupting any, and I just keep on doing it. Can I say?
No, you're good. So, but why this for me, like what excites me is just, I love the products, but also know what the opportunity can do for each and every person. I've seen, I see what it does for myself right now. Obviously, I've seen what it's done for my family since I was 9 years old. But now that I'm 23, I'm seeing like personal effects that it has. But it's truly like you get to go have the opportunity to go chase after your dreams and the dream life. Like there's no no ceiling on how much you can make. There's you get what you put in. If I hate the thought that if I show up to work and I work my tail off, I'm gonna get paid the same as if I just barely show up. Like that terrifies me. So the fact that we can go work as hard as we can and we'll get rewarded for it, but also we get to go create the life that we want to live and help other people create their life that they want to live. That's what excites me, to just go show and educate. Like obviously I want everyone to do it with us, but at the end of the day, they got to make that decision for themselves. But I just want to know that everybody in the world was educated on what we had to offer. So that's what excites me to push this and move forward.
That was Sarah next. Sarah, tell us what you see for yourself and what you're looking for.
What excites me is very similar to what Peyton said. I absolutely love the products. The products changed my life. I lost 64 pounds with one of the products. And not only has it affected me, it's also affecting my family members. They're on a healthier journey now thanks to the products that we have. Financially speaking, most of you know, if you don't, I'm getting my PhD. I actually defend and graduate July 11th with my PhD in meteorology. I'm a storm chaser. And I was going down the path, $200,000 in debt from student loan. And that's with, getting the PhD and whatnot. But I no longer have to be confined to a building, to politics within the meteorological field. And with that, it's a huge blessing that I found Partner Co. and NexGen, because I don't have to be confined to a building. I can make money, even more money than I would with my PhD. And I get to go storm chasing. And in my book, that's enough for me. It's like a cherry on top of the ice cream. So I absolutely love this.
Now, anything else? Okay, well, I want to say this. Sarah talked about getting her doctorate, so we obviously are not against education. So I think sometimes we sound like we are, but it's not what we are. I will tell you this much: I'm thrilled that she has become a meteorologist, because it's nice to have someone send you a text message, take cover. It's about to hit your area. You don't even live in my state. I don't even know it. 1 minute later, the sirens are going off, and I'm like, Sarah knew it before it got to my hometown. Kristen was texting me. I'm like, she done text me too. Take cover. So nice to have a meteorologist that you know that's available. So, does anybody else want to add something? Lee, I think some people need to understand that, because we think about trying to retire, but you got 2 kids at home, and I watch your post all the time. And guys, that's what I'm not a poster. Y'all know I'm not one of these guys that post on Facebook. If you're friends with me, I think I checked. I posted 7 times last year, so that's not good for me. Because I'm just not a technology guy, but my business is fine. I talk to everybody, one-on-one. But what y'all are doing, not only building residual with our new SOG, if those that'll follow that SOG program, the retail sales made Talia a ton of money before she started seeing her residual start to build. So we don't underestimate that our industry changed so much that we came up with a system that I think Brett and I were probably both a little skeptical. It shows our older age, like, sell product too. And we did, and it made the system was so amazing. So I want to bring that up.
Chris, I want to say this. It's an attraction. So I'm in Miami, Florida last night. I want to share this. We enrolled a coach in Miami, Florida. He coaches high school football, and he drives Uber on the side. So this is a coach that's got his 4-year degree. Congratulations. I was an educator, so I'm all about education, learning. And he's got his 4 years degree. He's working on his EDS. He's wanting to transition into being a principal of a high school. But he drives an Uber on the side to supplement fund his family, right? How many people do we know, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all of that are hustle money? Why does people make hustle money? Because they want to go on vacation with their family, because they want to not put back in the day, I used to put Christmas on the credit card and pay it off over 12 months. Today, the younger generation is so much smarter, because they'll go create hustle money through Uber and all of that, and they don't create a credit card expense, right? They pay it off with that. They go on vacation with that. So there's a whole world out there that's creating this hustle money. And so it really, for me, realized, hey, listen, we've got an opportunity here, especially with our system of growth and retail profits, how we can create that hustle money for people. And so to be able to talk to the generation and go, look, we got a way through a system that can create crazy hustle money weekly for you, that you might not have to drive that Uber in your own personal car. If we had 15 minutes, would you be willing to listen to somebody your age and then connect them to Talia, connect them to Peyton, Valley, Sarah, Shelby? Like, that is the idea of what we're doing here and what they've created with NexGen. So, Chris, I just wanted to say that the whole world is out there, and that's why Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, and all of that has really created a huge growth movement across the world because most people don't have an extra $1,000 laying around in their savings account. So they're out hustling to make side money. We have that right here with our system of growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
I would
something
like
you
to
ought to,
add something.
absolutely. I want you to. Go back.
Um, I think it's so important for people to understand that here in NextGen, what we want to do is we want to change the mindset of the young people. That is what this company has done for me. I am 33 years old. I started when I was 32 in this business, and the thing is that like they don't teach you this in college. You may go to college and no, not bumping college or anything. I did it. But my thing is they don't teach you the residual income that we've talked about, but they also don't teach you the mindset. They don't teach you to think about the future. Okay. They teach everybody to think about present, what you're doing right now, and they just teach you a pattern. They teach you a pattern and a cycle that you will also teach your children. So this company for me has not only, I mean, the retail income has been so good to me. Like when I started out, I made a ton of money, and the retail income has been great. But the residual income has absolutely changed my mindset for the future. I recently just got my personal training license. I didn't think that was going to be, if I was still nursing, there's no way that I would have been able to do that. And it's just a small goal of mine to do that. Not that I'm going to open my books up to train 1 million people right now, because I'm not, because I want time freedom. But that's something that I wanted to get under my belt. But not only that, my husband works in the factory, and he works long hours building transformers at one of the largest transformer businesses in the world. And I don't want him to do that forever. I don't want him to do that until he can clock out one day and say, I'm done, I'm retiring because the company allowed me. I want to do this so I can say, not only did I do this, but I did this for my family's future, and to let my children know that factory life doesn't have to be normal. And dad left early because mom did something different. She took the opportunity.
That's so good. Hey, Peyton, I
That
want
makes me
people
want
to know
to,
how
oh, sorry.
absolutely. I was just going to say, I want people to understand how they can plug into you guys. Chelsea. I call it now. Chelsea's your sponsor. Khalil, I want you to know how proud I am. I've watched you grow so much over the past year, and that's what I think that this group is going to make more people grow to another level. Peyton, tell people how they can find out about you. I mean, y'all do. I don't even know what all y'all do. I know y'all do Zooms. How can they plug in and find out and send their young people to listen in?
Yeah,
What's your
so we pretty much do a Zoom every Tuesday night at 7, unless something happens with a corporate call. But we do a Zoom every Tuesday night at 7. But the way they can plug in, we have a Facebook group. Sarah maybe can put the link in the chat. She's usually pretty good at that. But we have a Facebook group that they can send to anybody. They've got to answer 3 questions. It's super simple, and we'll get them in the group. And then also, like in that group, we kind of post like we'll go live tips if we've got anything like urgent. Hey, we think this is important, we want to tell you today before Tuesday, we'll do that. But then we record everything and we put it on YouTube. And so our YouTube is at NexGen Partners. That can be in the chat too. But that's our 2 ways. And then we're not stopping here. Like, so we've got the system of growth Facebook algorithm, like top notch, but we're working on figuring out TikTok's algorithm, Instagram's algorithm, like all these different things that should be able to not just help us, but help our whole company go take over. But it takes some time. So that's what we're doing. We've got new scripts and stuff that go along with the system of growth that's kind of business oriented. So we're all the time just being young entrepreneurs and seeing what little twist we can make and see, maybe good, maybe bad, whatever. We'll learn from it and grow and see what works. So that's kind of what we're doing.
That's exciting to see what you got. I'm just thinking, as you said, that a TikTok algorithm. So you can tell I'm old school because I don't have a TikTok. That is a thing, an app, I know. And I do have a Snapchat I've never opened. I do have Facebook that I don't use. But I'm an old man. I keep up with things. The world changed. The world, and Brent, even though he's using all those things, don't think that he doesn't feel like a dinosaur a little bit, because these new technologies, I mean, it's crazy how much has changed. If you don't, and these young people have a different world available to them that I didn't have when I built this business. The thing, I had a bag phone that I drove, that I was so excited about having a cell phone that was in a sack that weighed 8 pounds. So I was thrilled to have that because it helped slow me. But now, I mean, I'm on an iPad on my boat into the river doing a Zoom because I was willing to make some changes, but there's still so many more out there. Brent, I don't know if you thought about this, but this is such fun to watch these young people seeing that taking a system that's been around, what I mean by our industry, and really adjusting the way we did it. I mean, think about it. The world changed.
And Chris, it's so much, and I want everybody to think on here, especially if you're not in the age group of this group. You know, if you go look at any church, if you want to know the lifeblood of the church, look at the youth. Just look at the youth. They're the lifeblood of the church, the future, right? And if you want to go look at our company, I think that's what Peyton was alluding to when he showed up in Destin, Florida, was if you want to know the lifeblood of a company, look at the youth. And so I'm so proud of this group for taking charge. Somebody said, I'm trying to convince. You can't convince someone to do this business. You can't convince your kids to do this business. You can just show by example. And when the time's right for them, it's right for them. And then plug them into who they need to be plugged into. But Chris, I want to share this. So I was exercising this morning, and I'm not in this group, right? I'm 49 years old. I'm exercising this morning, and there's a audio. I've read the book several times called Flip the Switch. I highly recommend it. Flip the Switch. And they were talking about so many times in life, in business, we compare ourselves to other people. Let me tell you, in Partner Co., you're not in competition mode with Chris Doyle or Brent Palmer or Valley Barber or Europe or Canada or anybody. What we all should want is growth in all aspects of this company. I want my cross line growing. You know why? Because that creates longevity for the company. And then here's what I want to do. And this is what Flip the Switch was talking about today. I want to look at people that are growing and having success. And I just want to analyze what they're doing and seeing, okay, what nugget can I pull? What can I add to my business? What can I take away? Rather than compare, look at someone having growth and go, okay, what are they doing? So when I look at the NexGen right now and I see them growing from 3 to over 100 in the group, what that tells me is what they're doing is working. They're adding value. And so now it's up to me to go find that age demographic and plug them into that group. And I too will have a growth movement within that 18 to 35-year-old age range. So that's what personally I'm doing, being Chris, someone from the outside that's 49 years old, not 18 to 35. That's what I'm personally doing as I'm out prospecting and seeing new people. So I just wanted to add that as this has been amazing this morning.
Well, I'm excited about having you guys on this morning, and it's fun to watch the young people growing. And we had a lot of requests for a lot of things, guys. These Saturday trainings are going to be different topics each week, so just watch. Next week we got Dr. Strand lined up, we got Dr. Plants lined up, we got other leaders. But these next gen people to me is the future. That's what NexGen stands for. And I'm so excited, like you said, Brent. This is going to sound bad, but I want to sign somebody up that's 75 years old, even though they've had a lot of success in this business, or would I rather sign up somebody 25 years old? Because I can promise you they're going to build a business and they'll outlast me. So residual income is based on who's growing a business. These young people are the ones who are going to grow us. And I'm just excited to see the change over to I call it the next guard or the next one. So anything y'all want to add before you leave? Any one of you, Sarah? Shelby,
I would like to add one thing. We are having our next Zoom this Tuesday, June 3rd at 7 p.m. Central. It's on pretty much how to get to senior officer step by step. And I'm super excited. I know Peyton, super excited. Everybody's super excited. So make sure you get your people there.
I want to add one thing that actually goes along with what Brent was saying about convincing your kids. And I'll say it from the perspective of a kid. I watched my mom in this business for almost I guess at the time, 8 years. And I had no, like, I was not planning to be a part of this. But it was when I decided that I was ready and I saw the potential myself, that I decided to jump in. I basically came to her and said, okay, I'm ready. It wasn't a matter of, she didn't spend hours and however long trying to convince me to be a part of this. It was me that decided that I was ready and that I had seen the success that she and others were building, and that it was, a real possibility that this could be my job. I didn't have to be stuck in education for the next 30 years of my life. And so, don't feel like you have to convince your children or whoever it might be, because you don't want to be dragging them along either if they come into this. Their motivation is going to be way stronger than yours ever will be for them. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and Shelby, I kind of wanted to bounce off. I'm glad you said that, because everybody has to have that pivot point. Like, you can't, I know I'm even guilty of it. There's so many people that you want to force somebody to do it because you see the big picture, you see the opportunity, and you're like, you need to do this. Like, there's so much more for your life, but you cannot force somebody to do it. They have to have that pivoting point in their life for them to wake up and they're like, oh my gosh, I need something different. And like, for me, that's when I was working in the corporate America world, and I had my boss tell me, are you going to work here or are you going to be a mom? Because you can't be both. And I said, that was my pivoting point. I said, I would never have somebody make me choose a job over my children. But I just feel like everybody has to have that point. So we can't sit there and force somebody, even though we see the big picture, when they have that opportunity arise theirself and they finally come to, I guess, the realization, like, I want better. That's kind of when they'll move forward with it, instead of, we don't ever want to like force somebody or drag them along with it. They have to make that pivot.
Yeah, and I'll just say one last thing is they're always watching. So I watched my dad since I was 9, and I always wanted to do this. Like, this was my dream, but it had to be the right timing, and I didn't really know when that timing was. It just happened to come, and when it came, we did it. And now I'm getting to live that dream on the Zoom, and every day. But they'll come. They're always watching. He didn't try to convince me or really even like asked me to do it one time. But I was always watching and taking every gold nugget that I could take. I found a notebook from when I was 10 that I was sitting in one of his meetings and wrote down. And so I've got a picture of that notebook. I still got my notes, and they're pretty good notes. But just know they're always watching. And Chris, thank you so much for having us on. I can't wait. What excites me, not just for us, but Partner Co. and years to come, is it's not right now. Like, right now excites me. It's not even in December what excites me. It's 7 years from now was what excites me, and really what drives me to go do the little things every day, because I know what will happen in 7 years if we would go do those things. So I can't wait to get there.
I want to add something to what Peyton just said. That's someone at his age and make that kind of wisdom. What, 7 years? Because most people want this to, like I said, they want to get rich by Christmas, and that's just not the way. You can make money between now and then, do very well. And you'll hear somebody that did extremely well and try to put yourself in that category. Guys, don't base yourself on what somebody else is doing. And I saw somebody in the chat make a comment. I'm trying to get my son, he's 19, to do this. But let him decide when it's right for him. You may run him off from the industry by putting pressure. Look at me. My daughter watched this for 20 years and not decided, even though she actually had a spot because she loved the products. It was about 2.5 years ago that she really decided to go to work at it. And so, and really not even that long. But the fact of the matter is, I couldn't make her do it, even though I wanted to, by the way. I pushed. And I think Brent let Peyton be a little more patient, and maybe he just kept watching. For me, I kept pushing Kristen, and I think I may have pushed her away a little bit because I wanted her to do it. And the fact of the matter is, it was her timing. And so maturity level has a lot to do with it. Some people mature earlier, or they need to have that big job they think for a while. They got to go to school, whatever the reason. And then again, don't be disappointed if they don't do it. That's the part you got to remember. It's not for everybody. I have family members. You would think that and I hate to say this, some of them are not on here because some of them, they're not in my business, but I want nobody to tell them from my family. They just don't have the decision to go do something different. They're okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let them do, but this is just for people who are looking for a better, something different, and gives them the opportunity. So it's your pace, but you build your business and know that it's here. And the good part is, as Brent said, those sidelines, hey, I'm loving seeing all the growth of this company because your residual income is based on how successful this company is. And because the residual is only as good as the company. And I'm very excited that we have the right company that's debt free and has all the things in place to make that happen. Brent, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you one last thing. Give us some parting words of wisdom. So I know, because there's nobody more proud of this, what's going on, than you and I, because we've seen the younger people get involved now. We're pumped about that.
Chris, and I think the biggest thing for all of us is just don't quit. Peyton will tell you, when I started building this business and he was a kid, I had a wristband on that said hashtag I don't quit. And it's almost a negative hashtag, right? I don't quit. But it was to remind me on those hard nights, on those times where the business crumbled a little bit, or man, I was on top of the world, ranked number 1, and now I'm number 5. And it's like all of those moments where you're creeping like the doubt in your mind, is it not? To look down and go, I don't quit. Because I didn't quit, I had a 9-year-old that got older with time, taking notes, seeing things that even I didn't see him do. And then when the time was right, he grabbed the torch. And me and him talk all the time about we're creating something that lives on past us. There's a lot of ups and downs. This is a business. So you're going to have peaks and you're going to have valleys. And that's why staying the course means so much. So for all of us on here, here's what we want to be. We want to be on this Zoom a year from now, and not the one that was here today. And a year from now, you don't know where they're at inside of Partner Co. because they quit on themselves. And so for me, I tell Peyton even today, he's loving Partner Co. And Peyton would tell you, I look at him and say, just don't quit on yourself. Because that's what a lot of people do when they go into a valley, is they give up on their dreams. And I challenge all of us, don't give up on why you're here and what you're doing. Stay the course and realize this. We understand. We've been in this industry a long time. Me and Chris Doyle understand what we have our hands on in Partner Co. And it is special. It is worth fighting for. And it's worth staying the course for. Even when you might be in a valley, stay the course, because you'll come out of that valley. And over time, the people will see that you did not quit, and they will join you on this journey. And it could possibly be even your kid. And for me today, it brings tears to me every time I think about it. Peyton grabbing the torch was the biggest blessing God could have ever given me here in this business. And so I'm forever grateful. And I just am so proud of what this group is doing, called the NexGen. So get people involved in this group. They're special.
We're going to end with that. I think that kind of finishes it perfectly. Peyton, thanks for getting the group together. Sarah and Shelby and Talia and Kelly. Valley. Is it not pronounced that correct? Is it Valley or Val?
It's Valley.
Okay, I want to make sure I was saying your name correct. I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure I didn't get it wrong. Guys, it's just so exciting to have these younger groups doing this, and we just didn't have this in the past. And this step into the forefront is where this company is headed. So, guys, with that, we're going to end today. We'll get out what we're doing next week. Brent, thanks for jumping on. I didn't know if you were going to make it or not. I'm glad he was here. Again, thank y'all so much.
Appreciate you, Chris Doyle. Love you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, have a great day. Love all of you guys. Hope you enjoyed it today. Get your young people plugged in. Let them decide what they want from this. They're going to help. So, guys, thanks again. Have a great day.